everybody, and welcome back to Roaring Twenties podcast. Today we have on with us Andrea Franco. Andrea is an intuitive business coach and mentor. We are so excited to talk to her. We're going to talk about things that we haven't really talked about in relation to business yet on this show. So we're so excited. Intuition, things that me and Brenda are super into, and I can't wait to learn from her. Andrea, thanks for being here.
I am so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is going to be really, really exciting. So before we get into it, Andrea, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, and how old you are.
Awesome. So I'm obviously an intuitive business mentor. I live in Connecticut. I am 28 years old. I went from $100,000 in debt, not loving myself, big mumble jumble mess, to almost $1 million in under 2 years, loving life, being really present with my spiritual gifts and my intuition, and so many beautiful things. So this is where I'm at now.
Love it.
Incredible. Yeah, that's super cool. I'm certain that so many people, especially in their 20s, are going to be taken back, inspired by your story that we're going to get all into. So
yeah, I want to do that. I want to go from debt to million. Me.
I'm here. Anything you want to know.
Thank God.
Amazing. We know the questions are going to pour out, but I guess for starters, just so we have a place to begin, an intuitive business coach. So what is that? Tell us about what you do and how do you combine intuition with reaching financial goals?
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like I'm like a business coach that's kind of cheating at life, right? Because I really use my spiritual gifts, and everyone, I mean, there's a lot of different gifts, right? We have claircognizance, clairsentient. So like everyone has different gifts as a spiritual mentor. I have pretty much all of them. I actually am also a psychic medium, funny enough. So like I tap into like past over loved ones, all kinds of things. But so basically as a business mentor, I'm doing two things. I've invested a lot of money to learn the back end of a company, strategics, like all of the actual business stuff. So it's part, strategy, structure, the back end, logistics, all like the business stuff. But then we really tap into, and I guess it's the masculine and the feminine, right? And then we tap into the pleasure, the play, the power, honestly, for women, you're like your pussy power, and really tapping into your womb, to your body, to your gifts, to your spirituality. And so when I'm on calls with one-on-one, at the very least, I'm really tapping into like, what do they need to hear right now? Like, where am I intuition wise being, leading them? Because a lot of people on calls are very in their head and not in their body. So I guide them to get out of the scarcity mode in their head and come back to their body and touch into their power and their spirituality and their gifts. Because I believe everyone is truly gifted if you really want to tap in. And it's okay. Some people listening to this is going to be like, she's crazy, blah, blah, blah. Because if you asked me 4 years ago, I remember my cousin had like crystals, which I work with on a daily basis, on her windowsill. And I was like, what the fuck are those rocks? Right? Like I was one of like the non-believers, the naysayers, and then like all these gifts started coming to me. It was crazy. So I do a lot of different things, to be honest. People knock at my door for business, but they usually leave with a little bit of everything. I help people really scale their companies monetarily, and I help them fall back in love with themselves, own their power, trust themselves. That's the biggest thing for me. Is a lot of people hire coaches, and there's a lot of like codependent relationships where I put the power back in you. And that's what I believe in. Intuition is so powerful with, where as other people, it's just strategy. It's like, trust yourself that pricing is right, that program is right. And I lead you deeper into that. So it's a really like dual thing. I do all kinds of different programs, basic, medium, high level, in person. I have a relationship program, all the things. So I don't think I could tell you in a couple of minutes all the ways I guide people, but I think that's the best way to sum it up really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all amazing. I'm so curious about so much of that. I'm glad you brought up the thing about trust, because I'm curious what you would give like the definition of intuition as, because I feel like it's a word that we throw around a lot, but maybe some people don't really know what that is because they haven't, been able to tap into it yet. So what would you like give a blanket definition as for intuition?
Yeah, I feel like it's like an inner knowing. That's really what I feel for me, because so many people, we don't listen to it. Like something tells you, like, you feel like this person's not right. Like, and then we're like, oh, I'm crazy, and we like brush it off. And it's like, that was your intuition. You should have listened, sister. We do that all the time, especially in relationships where like all the things like, like there's this little, and it can be different, right? Like sometimes you may like feel it in your body. Some people feel their intuition where like, oh, your heart hurts real quick. Like that was your intuition. We're not having a heart attack. You know what I mean? And sometimes maybe it'll be like, this is inner knowing, because I'm very claircognizant. So like I just know things, right? And so there's so many different ways to tap in, but there is an inner knowing, whether it's feeling physical, whether it's hearing something, because some people are sight, hearing, feeling, knowing. There's all the different things, but it's just this inner knowing and feeling, and that's where the trust comes in, because so many people are like, oh, that's not intuition. That's just like my limiting belief or whatever. So I would say intuition is like an inner knowing and feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's so powerful. And I'm curious as to, in terms of actually, you said trust and trusting your intuition. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people struggle with, not only identifying, although you mentioned that, but also like actually trusting it and learning to trust ourselves, because we're, all these mixed messages are around us and we internalize them and start to doubt and all these things. So how did you learn to actually trust your intuition?
Kill the ego. Because I feel like those doubts, those like cocky, those feelings or emotions that come up that aren't soul, those are the ego. So those are the limiting beliefs telling you can't, or that this thought that came up is crazy, right? So the deeper, it's really funny because I was talking about this because it's a Scorpio full moon, it's a super moon. I'm so into the moon, I'm a witch.
Yes.
And so I said to my people in my community, I was like, how many times are you willing to die with me? Because the truth of the matter is your life here, your journey here, if you're into evolution and ever evolving, is to unbecome. So to dive deeper into your intuition is to unbecome. You already are, but society and your mother and your parents and this and that and all this taught you these limiting beliefs, these scarce money mindset that you can't fucking do it. So your intuition and your deep inner knowing got bombarded by all this bullshit. So how many times can you kill your ego and die and unbecome to rebecome and tap back in? Sorry, I went on.
No, thank you. That's so powerful. And we need to hear that, because like, I know for myself sometimes too, like I think I'm a pretty intuitive person. And sometimes I doubt my intuition because of, oh, what are they going to think? Or what are they going to say? Or like,
number one.
So much of that fear about like, if we, but thank you. Like, cause I feel like sometimes you know something, you'll know you have to dive into something or like go there with something, and you're scared. Like you're so scared about like what someone else is going to say, what someone else is going to think, and being like, am I the crazy one? But
like, imagine like coming online and
follow that. What'd you say?
Can you imagine coming online and telling people you were a psychic? Like, do you
know
people that like, this whole journey has been like so hard of like, what the fuck is anyone gonna think about me? But your passion, your purpose has to be louder than what other people think about you. But I've been there. Like I was a food blogger. I started off with a media company, and like so many of the girls used to talk shit about me. Like I've been that girl that like was beat down, talked about, all of the things. So like I understand, and it's hard, and like especially in the online world, it can get like have some bad days where you get some mean messages or comments or other things. But like my power, my purpose, and my support team has always led me higher. But I understand, like that was the number one thing. And I will say most entrepreneurs in this world, or people who are like really do have gifts, whether that be intuition or success, blah, 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 they don't do it from that one thing you just said.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. And I feel like I love that your purpose is louder, because I think we've talked about a few times on the show that finding your purpose or identifying what it is in your 20s can be a little confusing, because it can be clouded by all these things you thought you were supposed to do or things you were told, expected of you, whatever. So just puts all that more emphasis on the importance of really finding your purpose if no one else's opinion mattered. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And then kind of switching gears slightly, just because this is something we've never talked about on the show before, human design. So what is that for someone that doesn't know?
So you would have to Google your chart, right? So like if human design is basically like a makeup Like it's I guess I would say it's like scientific. I don't even know how I would describe human design. It's like a makeup of when were you born, what time you were born, where you were born, in the freaking stars. It was written, and you have this design that. So I'm a projector, right? For example, I don't know if you guys know your human design, but
No, I need to know mine. Do you know yours, Brenda?
I think it's called Jovian Archive is the one.
Generator? No. Maybe not.
You don't know. We'll look them up.
Manifest something? I'll get back to you because someone actually told me.
So there's a lot that goes into human design though. So there's like your actual profile, then there's numbers, there are also things. So like it can go really, really deep, but just knowing the basics of your design is really helpful because someone like me, I can't run for 12 hours straight, right? And like I am like a projector. So I'm meant to be magnetic. I'm meant to delegate. There's a lot of things that I actually used to feel, I guess, fucked up for. I'd be like, why don't I want to do this thing? Why do I want to hire someone to do this? Why can't I like stay walking as long as everybody else? Like there was all these things and it was like self-critic. And then I learned my design and I was like, I was born like this. But by the way, it's not like an excuse either. A lot of people are like, I'm doing a program called Invited just for projectors, right? Because like there's so many people who use their human design or astrology or the moon as an excuse. And I'm not that either. Like use it to your power because although it's a full moon, people are like, I'm tired, I'm sad, and it's just a moon. And I'm like, so lean in so you could be even more powerful. So the more I leaned into my design, which is, I guess, like a scientific makeup of sorts that you were like kind of designed to be. If you can lean into it with power, you can learn how to utilize it to manage your energetic frequency in a better way and really understand yourself on a deeper level.
Yeah. Can you give an example of that? Because I think that's a good point. I think people sometimes will look at these sort of things like human design, astrology, whatever these tools are, and they often do are like, oh, well, like you're making an excuse or like blah, blah. So can you give an example of like how like you or someone could lean into one of those things to use that to your advantage, to your power?
Yeah, I mean, like, so as a projector, I could say that I'm meant to take 3 naps a day, and like I'm not meant to work more than 3 hours. Like, that's bullshit. The truth of the matter is, I'm meant to stay in my magnetism. So as long as I feel good and I love what I'm doing, like showing up to this podcast, I'm going to do that. Right? Gary Vee, I don't know if you know him. I'm obsessed with him. I met him several times. He's signed my book. He's a fucking projector. Right? But here's the thing, you have to look at his business. There's someone recording him in the car next to him, someone uploading and visiting. So he like outsources the things that he doesn't want to do that are, like too simple or boring for him at this point. But like he's working often and a lot, but he's in his magic, right? So some people may think, oh, he's not being a projector, but he is. So like people will give excuses for anything and you could use it to be more powerful. So for me, I leaned in, I used it to hire better team and really know what is my magic? What do I love? What don't? What can I outsource? Like at this point in time, I'm so thankful I have people to come clean my house. I have someone who does my hair and makeup. I have a high level OBM who runs all of the back end, my emails, I have a high level graphic designer. I don't
It's okay, keep going, she'll be right back.
High level graphic designer, so I don't do any like the graphics, any stuff like that, right? So all of the things that I just don't love, but there's some days I don't work at all and some days I can work many hours. So I think there's a lot of limiting beliefs around some of the designs, and the deeper you lean in, the more you can make them useful for your power.
Yeah. Hi, Brenda. Welcome back.
So strange. My gosh. It just left and I was like, what's happening?
What's happening? Internet. I don't know.
It's the moon.
I was just going to say it's the moon.
It must be.
And
I was correct, by the way, you guys. I am a generator / manifesting generator.
I need to take mine. Figure it out online, right?
I think it's called Jovian Archive. Is that what it's called?
I'll send you the link.
Oh my God, thank you. Because now I really need to know because I need to know how to use it to tap into my power.
Yeah.
Birth time and birthplace. The hour is really important. Make sure you put it in correctly. Some people do it wrong.
Yeah. Do you use astrology as well in your work?
So it's so funny that you just asked that. I just hired an astrologer for 13 months. So I'm diving deeper into that. So like I know the basics, but I don't teach it. So I don't teach anything that I don't believe I'm kind of an expert in. I think I'm an expert at being a projector, but I don't teach human design, which is why me and a human design expert are doing the program together.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, I'm like, I do witchy work. So, I do spell work, I do energetic embodiment, I do all the things. Like, a lot of people don't see that side of me because I do have just like purely business programs too,
Yeah.
a little bit. We're really moving away from all of that. But yeah, so I a lot of like my spell work and my energy work like works with the moons and astrology, and like I'm a Virgo. So I'm like very organized and like need to know all the answers to everything. So yes, I definitely think our signs are important too.
Yeah, it's just so interesting to me because like to see how all of these different elements can be utilized for you, once you have somewhat of an understanding of them, to how you can utilize them to your advantage and like use them as a tool. Because I think people don't often think about that. And when you kind of dig deep and know I imagine like know yourself better. I mean, this is your thing, but like I imagine knowing yourself better can help you get to like those goals, how to what's the word you use, to be like a magnet for
to be magnetic to your real clients, to friends, to relationships. Speaking of astrology, co-star is a good app.
Yeah, we had
it. And then the pattern is another one.
Yeah.
So I'm just like thinking of it.
Yeah, no,
that's like, we love tools and resources.
Yes, I'm like, what can I give you? But yeah, I feel like it's great to have knowledge in them. I don't use them to a point where like I'm a Virgo and today I'm going to do this and the moon's in this and like, but I think it's great to lean into your human design and lean into your astrology and lean into these things so you can just be more powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to help you like make sense of things, I know something that I found, and it's not something I'm any means an expert in, but like at the time, like the Enneagram made a lot of sense to me because learning more about like, oh, like this is where my intentions are, this is where my fears are. Like it just helped me kind of better understand myself and like where my head's at in a lot of ways. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense about me. It just like help better navigate other situations. So I think that applies to like all of these different things. But I am curious in terms of your gifts and all that stuff, especially because you said you were a naysayer not too long ago. When did you like come to know these gifts? How did you kind of transition? How did that work?
Yeah. And then why why business coaching with you?
It was like the craziest journey. I don't even know. I'll try to like sum this up. I'm good at short and sweet. But I think a lot of crazy shit started happening. Like, first of all, I met one of my mentors now, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And I was really drawn to her. She's a psychic. I, out of nowhere, started wanting to see psychics. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Right. And then I will never forget. It was this really weird situation where I was like, oh, okay, something's off here. I walked into a car with my friend and she had rosary beads on the car, whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling something weird right now. And I was like, whoever owns these rosary beads, they're showing me chocolates. And I was like, what the fuck did it just came out of my mouth? I was like, why did I just say that? She looked at me, she goes, and I was like, what? She goes, my grandmother, she passed away a couple weeks ago, and she opens her center console and she's like, and she gave me these chocolates and I haven't taken them out of my car since. And the rosary beads are from her. And I was like, the fuck is wrong? Like, I was scared of myself, right? And then like all of these things, I would just crazy things. Like I would know when someone's lying. I would just feel things, and I was just not wrong, right? But also, someone would ask me a question. I always wanted to help people, but it was like deeper than like what was in my brain. I was like, I'm feeling this for you. I'm feeling like you're gonna do this, right? And I would start predicting things, and like I knew if people were cheat, like crazy wild things. And I just kept being right and right and right and right and right. And eventually you're like, I channeled for someone very dear to me. Her father had passed over, and he stepped up to me and he was telling me names, dates, places. I mean, her mouth was like this. I wouldn't have known any of that, so things just started happening. It was really crazy. So why business coaching? I'll make this short and sweet. I got in an accident. A glass exploded in my hand. that was when my gifts really started coming out. So from bed, I was super suicidal. I tried to kill myself. I was done with life. I felt I had this bigger purpose here. I didn't end up dying. And I started a food blog. That was the thing that lit me up at the time. I believe, and I forget who said this earlier, but it's like finding your journey. Sometimes we fuck it up forward. I don't goddamn know where I'm going to be next year. Never mind tomorrow. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's a little trial and error to figure out what you want to do. So I love my food blog. It's called The Hangry Italian Girl. Everyone told me you'll never get paid. I got paid $400 to go eat food at restaurants in Connecticut, right? And then I started a media company. I was running people's social media. So I was a boss ass bitch at social media. So that was my first program, like how to grow your social media one-on-one. And then like I started investing more and knowing more. And I actually started off as a relationship coach, but I just feel like I just have such power in this world as again, I do everything. I'm getting trauma certified. I did 6 years in the mental health psych program. So there's a lot of work I do, but I want women richer.
Yeah.
We're like women richer are just like fucking change the world. So I'm like, that's like where my heart is now. May shift. I just did a program called Calling in Your King. It was like out of this world, but like, so I do other things, but I think that's kind of the path where it started as social media. Then I finally came out of the witch's closet, and then and just like kind of just got deeper and deeper. And now I just really give no fucks. And I'm like, I know it all. Come to me.
Come to me. I love you. Yeah, I'm so curious, and we're going to talk more about that. But I want to talk about this one, shifting more into the business part of it. I know there's this term money wounds.
Yep.
So I had never heard that term before. So what is that? And what are some common money wounds that you see with your clients?
Okay, so a money wound is a limiting belief around money that you took on from society, ancestors, your parents, right? So very often we have wounds that most of the time it's our parents, right? So for example, my parents lived like, closely paycheck to paycheck. They weren't very good at saving money. So my first year, well, not my first full year, but the first couple months that I made money, I ended up doing like mind-blowing to me at the time, 120,000, and I saved this much of it. Why? Because money was not safe to me, right? So like I felt that I could not hold on to money. Like I was unworthy of money. So here's some limiting beliefs, right? A lack of worthiness, can't hold on to it. Money is evil. You have to work hard to have money. I mean, most often it's what you saw with your parents, right? So these are ingrained in you, and like, my God, how many times I had to die to get them away, right? Like I remember the first time I invested, like even to put $30,000 in a 401k, I was like, the money's leaving my bank account, and like, then you move, like every level has its new devil with money wounds for, me at least. It was first, like, I can't save. Then it was, now I'm saving, like, oh, who am I to fucking start in like an investment account? And who am I to have, right? So I think with money wounds, identifying them is first and foremost. A lot of people don't want to look in the mirror and see where they are limiting themselves, because it's like, who am I to even want to be this next level version? And then it's, allowing yourself to clear them and then creating new identities and new beliefs. So money is my friend. I fucking love money. Money comes to me in limitless ways. I attract more money than I even fucking know what to do with. I was doing money spells last night. They're doing very well.
Wow.
Send some on me.
Yeah, I would love some. That's so incredible, because I feel like it's something that we don't talk about much, especially as women. Like I know, especially like among our friends and stuff, money, it's not that we wouldn't talk about it. It's just something that we don't choose to talk about. Plus being in your 20s, depending on your job, and this year specifically was tricky. I feel like it brings up a lot of discomfort in a lot of people, but you did bring up something in terms of like investing and whatever. A lot of people at any age, but especially in their 20s, have a lot of debt. So what would be your best advice in navigating debt while still like pouring resources into your business? Does that make sense?
I invested $5,000 I didn't have for a dream nobody believed in but me. And I was in debt when I invested in this. So I think that, debt, like same thing with money, right? It's not good nor is it bad. Neither is debt. Like, it's just a thing. Like,
Mm.
it was something that I went deeper into, and I viewed it as a catalyst that would bring me to my next level. And so as I made money, I pretended like I wasn't making money, and I just paid off the debt. But a lot of people like who are in debt are like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, that's why you need to invest, right? But also don't be stupid, right? Like, if you have like no knowledge in business, maybe a business coach isn't for you. Maybe you hire, it depends on like what you're looking to do. But if you're going to invest in yourself to better yourself or become an entrepreneur, it has to be like this knowing and this trust that like, I knew that $5,000 was going to change my life. The next month I had my first 10K month. The next month I had my first 20K month. The next month I had my first 30K, and I just never fucking stopped. And I didn't stop investing either. I spent more than I made in 2019. Right. And now we're in a different place, but I think that I'm sorry, like society is just messed up. It's so funny how like we're so fine with getting in hundreds of thousands of dollars for college that half of us don't have shit jobs when we get out. You're fine leasing that fucking Lexus when you don't even see the big picture that you're paying every month to something, no collateral that you don't even own. Like, we're so quick to get all of these things because society taught us, let's get in fuck tons of debt. And that iPhone doesn't seem so expensive, but that business coach or that investment to actually make yourself better, your knowledge bigger, and all that, that's a struggle. That's why we're fucked up in our 20s.
Yeah.
Because that's what the fuck we're taught. So we get in cheap shits of debt. We believe like it's not the same anymore. Our parents went to college because they got out of college and had a job. The world's different. Women were teachers, they were nannies, or guess what? A one family fucking home, the man worked and that was enough. It's not that way anymore. Expenses are different. Life is different.
Yep.
It's all changed. So stop pouring. Honestly, I don't want my kids to go to college. Right? Like, unless they want to be a teacher or a doctor or something that definitely needs a college education, I want to teach them how to be a fucking entrepreneur. Because God, if I learned this earlier and wasn't stupid when I was a viral Twitter when I was 17, I could be a multimillionaire by now. But I kept trying to be an EMT and this and that because that's what mommy and daddy wanted. Right?
It's so much unlearning. Like, there's so much unlearning that we often have to do. And especially like that was such a good point. It's like what we choose to put our money in, I think oftentimes has to do with like what somebody else thinks, other than really taking the time to like and I think it's because it's hard to believe in yourself sometimes, but that's where I think that it needs to start. Like, and I'm sure of what a big part of your program is that you have to like trust in yourself and believe in yourself and invest in yourself because no one else is going to.
And honestly, like surrounding yourself, I lost all of my friends when I went on this journey for the most part, right? Like, no longer hanging out with people who are in bars Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and the girlfriend's table is about the next dick you're going to get. It's our conversations are different. We're talking about how we can raise the collective and how we can better ourselves and get smarter and more knowledge. We're pulling cards for each other. We're meditating. This is a whole nother level. So you have to ask yourself, not only who are you willing to unbecome to be who you're always meant to be, but are you willing to get uncomfortable and stop hanging out with people that are going fucking nowhere and don't want to go anywhere? Because by the way, there is nothing not wrong with 9-to-5s. That we need those people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's beautiful. Like, if you want to work a 9-to-5, if you want to go to college and have those kind of jobs, that's beautiful. Right. But like, I'm not looking to calibrate to your energetic frequency. So I want to surround myself with people who are above me and are at my level and are looking to go higher and have the same dream and vision as me. And the 1% isn't walking around on every corner.
Yep.
Finding my friends was interesting. But now we live all around the world and we get together a couple of months. We fly to Florida, fly here, we get an Airbnb and all hang out together. It's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Yeah. And I love that you said that, like working with people that are at your level or above you. Julia actually said the other day that like really stood out to me is like, especially in courses and training and stuff like that, to like, you don't want to be the best person in the room. You want to be learning from other people. And she said it a very powerful way. If you are the best person in the room, get out.
Big fish. If I start to be the biggest fish in a pond, it means I need to go to a lake.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that because I think we do as well like to be the best or try to be the best. So it's this area of comfort as opposed to growing and pushing beyond and acknowledging that there is more growth to to chase after. But I think especially in your 20s, a lot of people are still in friend groups and stuff like that might be toxic or might not be serving them or might be holding them back from achieving the next best thing. So I think that's really good advice to just really take a step back and evaluate, like, are the people that are surrounding me the people that are, raising my frequency, or are they kind of holding me back? And that of course applies to relationships, romantic and stuff like that.
No, girl, I've been there. I've dated the narcissist. I've been friends with the people who are drinking. I used to do cocaine. I used to drink all the time. Been there, done that, which is why I could speak from such truth embodiment. And, I'm not perfect. None of us are, but every day you get to make a different choice. I haven't had a drink in like 60 days now. I very often am not drinking more than I am now. I just don't think it's what my body desires at the level that I'm at in my life. It's just, and it's not easy to like go out or, there's just so much. But yeah, I love what you said. I prefer to be, a minnow in a shark tank. But I think it's great. But I also sometimes like being the big dog is awesome. Like I love helping people. It's like why I was put on earth, but often that means I'm a coach in a container, which I love doing. And I just came out with a year membership because so many people are like, we want to work with you longer and blah, blah, blah. So I just came out with I'm a rather high ticket coach, but I came out with a 1-year membership called the Limitless Year. And we're meeting on the new moon. We're doing spell work, the full moon, hot seat coaching, all of the things. I'm so excited. So I don't know. I was just like thinking I just, like in a year's time, you can change everything. That's the thing is like, you're always one freaking decision away, one day away. When I made that, it was one of the craziest thing about this podcast too, is the fact that 2 years ago today, I was not a coach. 2 years ago today is when I made that $5,000 investment. And I think we're a few thousand short, but I'm a millionaire. And like, I can't even fucking believe I'm saying this.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, I made this one decision that put my life on a completely new trajectory. And in 1 year, it was like, pew!
That's crazy. Seriously. Yeah. And just in general, like, it's just that so much can happen in such a short amount of time. Like Julia and I reflect on once we started to become the most intentional about our habits, our thoughts, the way we speak to ourselves, the people that surround us, like the habits we incorporate into our days, just all these things, we noticed such a like fast-tracked alignment, like knowing our purpose, all these different things because we made those decisions. And I think that so often people just kind of exist in a kind of harsh way because they think that's the only option. But anyway,
it's surface level.
Yeah,
exactly.
And unintentional.
Totally unintentional. Yeah. Which is why
people don't want to look in the mirror, that's hard. Right. There's definitely people that I had to get rid of in life, and like not in a bad way, but it's like some people would rather live a lie or settle with a partner or do these things in life because facing their trauma, facing these hardships is just too hard. And so those are more surface level people who don't want to, and they're just like, hey, hell yeah, and it's like, that's kind of all that comes out of their mouth. And there's, again, nothing wrong with those people, but I just go deeper, and I want to surround myself with people who are deeper and who have different thought processes and who are willing to like look at their trauma, remove it from their body, stare at it, and squash it.
Yes,
absolutely. Oh my gosh, yeah.
For someone who maybe has been living like that for a while now, like a woman in her 20s who maybe has not been able to like do the hard things, ask the hard questions, look in the mirror and start being really intentional about that stuff, like, but is coming to a place where she's like, I want to change my life now. Like you said, 2 years ago today, you weren't a coach. Like what would you tell her to be the first step? Like what would you tell her to be the first thing to do if she really does want to start changing her life?
I mean, I will never forget the speech I made on that stage that day. And I said, my favorite fucking place to be is rock bottom, because I get to build a whole new fucking life now. It doesn't matter where you are. It's that one decision. So are you ready to make it? Are you ready to start making daily actionable things and be consistent with them? We don't decide that we want to be powerful sometimes, right? And again, everyone has bad days. I'm not a perfect fucking human, right? But like the day I decided I'm becoming an entrepreneur, I'm making this investment, like I slipped up a couple times. I did coke a couple times. I got drunk a couple times. I committed to sobriety in that container, right? And I had a couple slip ups that year. And because I'm human, but like I made the decision and I kept coming back. So like you could screw up, but just recommit, like allow yourself to commit to yourself, because you're not doing this for your mother. You're not like, that was a lot of like what came through when I first become successful. It's like, I wanted to call my mom and be like, yeah, I told you I could do it. It's like, fuck everybody. Are you doing this for you? Like, are you ready to change your life? I don't care where you are. I was in the bottom of the ditch and I used a shovel and I dug myself out. Like, if you want to dig yourself out, you can. You might not make it to the fucking top of the ditch tomorrow, but eventually you'll see it. Eventually you'll get there. So as long as you know that, first of all, life is a journey, right? So like, there's going to be good days, bad days, that this may not be easy, and you're allowing yourself to lean into the human experience that this is and enjoy the ride and the journey with committing to yourself and loving yourself every single day. That's all you can do. The best you can do. Stop being such, like, what I needed to do was stop being such a fucking self-critic, because I'm a Virgo and I'm like, this could be better. You should see me prepping to launch fucking year membership. I'm like, I don't like the video I made. Like, meanwhile, no one knows I feel this way. I'm like, I did it all perfect. But yeah, I mean, it just takes a couple small steps. When you look up, you eventually walked a mile.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. It the way that you worded that
I'm full of fucking one-liners today.
Yeah, I keep thinking in my head, soundbite.
We're gonna have so many sound bites. Holy crap.
It's amazing.
Oh, you send me something, please? I'm channeling. This is what I do. I'm like, as I see things, I see things. So like I saw a shark and a little fish and I saw this and I'm like, so it just comes out of my mouth really fast.
It's perfect.
I don't control it. You know, filter, people were born with that, you know? So like, it's about right here in your face. I think I popped out of my mom's vagina without one.
Hey, that's your power though. That's your power.
It is working for us.
It's working.
And no filter.
It's working.
It is. And I think stories like this, like yours, give people so much hope, because it's so hard to believe when you are on rock bottom.
I know.
To believe that, you know, that what you are doing or might choose to do is worth it. So hearing this and hearing your process, I think is just so inspiring, because the more that people see examples of this, I think the more they can start to see the possibility of that within themselves. And along with that, just you saying that it's a choice. It's funny because so many people, you know, when you really boil down to it, it is a choice. Of course, there are things that build up to making the choice, but just something that really stood out to me is you just continue to make this choice day in and day out. And there are so many things that you might come up against, but it makes such a difference. And to see that your life has literally transformed in such a short amount of time, and having that belief that other people's can too, is so powerful. And what you said really reminded me of, like, you can be on rock bottom and then still be able to step up. And I feel like that's something that people really struggle with nowadays, is to, as opposed to staying stuck there and like existing in that space, to like making your default be, okay, I fell, let me bounce back. I fell, let me pick myself up. And I think that in itself is such a beautiful form of self-love and self-respect. But I know that a burning question of people in their 20s right now has to be, a millionaire, what the heck? We all want that.
I don't think it's that hard.
Well, see, I feel like it's this thing that we all associate with being, you know, just for a specific set of people.
Money,
you know? And I guess with that, from what you can share with us, of course, I'm certain that people would want to work with you, but from what you can offer our listeners, what tips
My brain is yours. I don't think there's anything that I give. Free value is the reason I'm a millionaire, right? I'm gonna call myself a millionaire, and I'm a little shy, but it's happening. It's happening this month. I mean, like we're right there, and I have like a wait list for this membership, so like but yeah, no, I feel like there's just so much I can say around what you're saying, but I want to backtrack for 1 second, because here's the thing. What you were saying before about the decisions is people need to stop having the pity party.
Oh yeah.
Like, that came through to me so loud. It's like, well, this millionaire is so unattainable for you because you're too busy throwing party for your sad self. You know, like, look, here's the thing. I had an addiction to alcohol. I was using cocaine. I've been physically abused as a child. I watched my family be physically abused. I've been raped. I have had so many things go fucking wrong for me, right? Where I can say, oh, but. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I help people work through trauma, and I'm 6 years in the mental psych program, and I'm getting trauma certified. But like, when are you going to stop labeling yourself as what you went through, and you have become your fucking story, and break out of this shit and decide to like leave the party home and get out of your goddamn house? I'm tired of it. If I could fucking do this, anybody in the world could do this. There's people like that live normal lives that didn't have substance abuse or get raped or abused or any of the other fucking things. And no one's story is harder than the next, right? I'm just saying that, like, becoming a millionaire, decide what you want to do. There's the guy who invented the pool noodle is a fucking millionaire. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's people opening toys on YouTube who are being a millionaire. I could have been a millionaire eating food. I promise you, I would have been a millionaire eating food if I decided to go down that route. I had to make a choice, and I made a good choice right before COVID. But you know, like, I could have been a millionaire with a media company. What the fuck do you want to do? Pick something and do it. Like, we live in the best fucking time that we could live in. Social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok. If you want to go there, not for me, but OnlyFans. You know, like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. What do you mean? There's a million ways to be there's no longer like someone's writing a fucking letter. This is like, you have the world at your hands in front of you. Like, what? We don't have the excuses that our parents had. You could start a YouTube channel, consistently put up fucking content, do whatever the hell you want, just do something. And like, being a millionaire is not that hard in today's day and age.
My goodness.
We're on a rant again.
No, we are loving it. We are loving it.
Living for it.
So true. It's so true. And it comes back to those money wounds, those limiting beliefs, like what we tell ourselves. And it's, again, breaking out of that. We're so conditioned. We're so conditioned to throw the pity party, to tell ourselves the limiting beliefs. And it's like what you said before. At some point, you have to make the choice. If you want to change your life, you have to make the choice to not do those things anymore. And I like what you said earlier about being consistent with them. You can't just make the choice. And are you going to fall back some days? Of course, we're human. But like, you can't just make that choice one day and then expect it to be from 0 to 100. Yeah. You have to be consistent.
Absolutely.
So hard.
So was there a specific question that you wanted to know from me?
About, Brenda, like, you were going there somewhere with that question.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
No, your response was incredible. No, I guess just if you were to think of the most tangible tips beyond leaving behind the pity party, which is a huge one, and identifying purpose and building up your self-belief and crushing the limiting beliefs, what are some like tangible tips, I guess, that you put in consistently in order to get to where you are today financially?
Choose your platform. I'm going to talk about this like on monetary terms. So like, if you're looking to become successful, I see a lot of people like, I want to be on YouTube and LinkedIn and TikTok and Pinterest, right? So like, what I did is I decided to dominate. No matter what the fuck I do, I dominate it because I have laser focus. Get laser focused. Stop being a space cadet. If you're a space cadet and you can't stop being a space cadet, hire someone who's the opposite, like a Virgo or something. Right? And again, like, by the way, I've got a million fucking ideas a day. Like, I should be a billionaire by now with the amount of ideas I have. But that's the other thing is like, stop being an idea bitch and start executing, right? Like, we could talk all day long about what you want to do, what you gonna do, right? So that's first and foremost. So pick a platform. For me, I really loved Instagram, but I really up-leveled into Facebook groups. So my Facebook group is called the Intuitive Boss Babe Community. It is 5,000 members there. And I invite my members there and I give fuck tons of free value. So what I tell people is do two things at once. Nurture your people and always try to get new people. So a lot of people make the mistake of they're always trying to get new people. Like they're trying to get new followers and new people in their Facebook group, but they're not nurturing the ones they have. So their engagement sucks and no one's buying their shit. Here's the thing. I make more money than people with 60,000 people in their group because I'm nurturing, I'm showing up, I'm going live, I'm making posts, I'm asking questions. Here's one of the things I will tell you as an online business owner. Give a fuck. Make connections. My clients know I see them, I love them. I was in a mastermind, a really toxic, like masculine mastermind. I don't think the guy knew what I fucking did. You know what I mean? Like everyone in my containers, I know who you are. I'm following you. I'm friends with you. Like I want to know more about you. So like connection is so deeply important to me. And again, that's not going to work for everyone's business, but I think that, you know, like even if you're a YouTuber, like ask your YouTube fans, like, what do you guys want to see? Like stuff like that, like engage, you know? And so Facebook groups, you know, like I picked a platform and I simultaneously was growing and networking while providing a lot of value. Here's the other thing that people don't do. Ask for the fucking sale. I make money every goddamn day. Why? Because I give value every day and I ask for money every day. So I make a post at least once a day that says, here's how you can work with me, right? In the past 24 hours, I've made $20,000. It's been a beautiful day. Money spells. But like, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm like, hey, join my program. Hey, here's how to work with me one-on-one. Hey, I haven't even gone public with the limitless year yet. It's only $250 a month. But I've sold four. Because people are like, what is this thing that you're hinting at? Like, they just want to know.
Yeah.
Right. And so like asking for the sale is huge. A lot of people are like, I run an online business. Really? You post a lot of really cute, inspirational things, but where the fuck are you asking people for money? Come up with an offer. Here's the thing. Come up with I'm like teaching. I'm good at this. Come up with an offer, right? But so you have to be an authority. Why are you the authority? Why are you the person that I should go to, right? To hire this thing. So if you're not, stop pretending you are and do something else, or learn if you want to teach that thing, right? But here's the thing. People are selfish. They want a result. So they might love you and your energy, but ultimately have to know how to speak about your offer in a manner that makes them be like, it's her. She's going to get me this result, right? So I heard someone say this. Everybody wants to be a New York Times bestseller. Who wants to really write a book? You need to show them how to be a New York Times bestseller. You need to sell to their desires and then give them what they actually need, right? But like, they don't always know what they need.
Yeah.
So there's just so many different aspects that go into selling. Like, I'm not a coach who speaks to pain points, like where you were. I don't want to know her. Like, let's talk about where you're going. I'm very big on that. There's so many different things, but like, I think after that, once you get someone in your programs, be in an honor of what the fuck you said you were going to teach them. Make sure you have structure. Like when I first started my business, I was a bloody mess. Now I'm like, okay, sales page, links, Facebook group, this, like have structure, have organization, be fucking reliable. Don't be late. Virgo here, you know? So, I mean, really running a business, I think as well, like as you keep going, don't spend your money on stupid shit. Invest as early as you can, hire. So now like my life is so amazing because, you know, I have a most beautiful woman who does my hair and makeup. I have someone who comes clean my house that I'm just so fucking thankful for. I have an OBM. I'm hiring a new team member for May 1st. She's a high level VA, you know, so like all the things that aren't my magic, I find beautiful women that I could put money on their table to do. And, you know, there's just so many different ways that you can be successful online, but you've got to choose it. And if you aren't the one, and say you are so broke that you can't come up with $1, that's okay. Like, but there's a million free things on the internet. You know how many free workshops I host? You know how many times I do this in my group every single day and answer people's questions for free? Obviously, the paying me, you're going to get another level. You're going to get, you know, more one-on-one. But like, stop making excuses for yourself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like you shared so many tips that through there, I'm like, I need to start taking notes because we'll be real. We're very real here with our listeners. We have the deepest freaking belief in this platform that we have here in our podcast and the stuff that we talk about and the people we have on our show. And sometimes we do run into, like, we're not social media experts. We love podcasting, you know, we talk. That's our superpower, connecting with one another, connecting with our audience and sharing this stuff. Superpower.
Use it to your advantage. Get big people on your fucking podcast. Have them help promote this. Have this, you know, like this could be huge. This could be $1 million podcast. Start doing, I mean, this is the coach in me, right? Channeling. Start doing ads. Start doing this. Try to get yourself on TV. Like, the sky's the fucking limit. The sky's not even the limit.
Yeah. And like knowing your superpower of like how to get there. Like what is it about us that like, or about you, whatever your business is that is going to bring you down that road. Because
Exactly.
like you said before, it's so many people are trying to do so many different things at once.
Yeah, they have no structure.
But you have to hone
I'm
in.
like the structure coach. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I, I could be like a lot of people are afraid to say
Mhm.
to clients. I'm like, if you're coming in my container, just know that I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I had a girl say like 15 things, and I was like, look, I'm not trying to call you out on this group call from all these people, but I have no fucking clue what you do. I said to her just like that, and she went, I said, I love you, which is why I'm giving you this honest advice. I've been watching your social media for 4 weeks now. I see you dancing. I'm inspired. I ain't got the slightest clue what you do. And if I don't got a clue what you do, they don't got a clue what you do.
Wow.
And I was like, I made sure to open the floor, make sure everyone felt safe and all the things. Like I asked those questions, but like, I also want to help you. If I look the other way and told her like, you're doing great, what help am I to her?
Right. You're not doing your job then.
100%. And you said too, which really stood out to me is like, I know for us, and I'm sure for some people too, is when you're not particularly an expert with social media, like one of the things that helps us grow, for example, is having people leave us a review, right? On Apple Podcasts, having people share the show, stuff like that. I personally feel annoying, like asking for that every single day. But like that is something that
Of course I can leave a review. Leave a review, people.
Every day.
You know, it's like, I don't think there's any problem with asking people to leave a review when you brought on great people and you had these conversations. You're providing value, so you can ask.
Yeah.
The other thing that came through as you were speaking really quickly is the fact that you don't need to be an expert to teach something. You just have to be ahead of the person who's coming to you.
Ooh.
Right. But I don't think you should go ahead and be a teacher of something that you are not slightly a master at, right? Like, so I saw this woman go online relationship coaching when she was in a narcissistic abusive relationship. I don't believe in unembodiment, right? But I also think that some people are like, I can't do this because I can't be a business coach because I haven't hit 100K yet. But like, you've hit 10. So he hit, beginners to 10. Like, we don't have to be an expert and know all the things and do all the things to get ourselves out there. We all start somewhere. When I became a business coach, I was in debt. Well, who the fuck am I? But I knew social media, so that's what I help people with. And until I grew and grew and grew, and that's how my, toolbox grew. And I build better cars. There I go again. But that's like, I just don't want to discourage people listening who are like, well, I'm not an expert at it.
No, that's incredible advice. That's seriously incredible advice. I love it all. Just because we want to respect your time, I would love to know a little bit about like what people could expect from working with you. Like, let's say they join one of your programs. You don't have to give away all your secrets, but what can someone expect when joining?
Yeah, so I have a lot of different offerings, and all, like I told you, a smart marketer will know the results of each and every one. So I'm not going to go specific. I would say the best thing, if you would want to join at the most affordable, if you're in your 20s and don't have money, if you want to go all in, we can chat. My limitless year is literally $250 a month, and there's 3 calls every single month. It's going to be amazing. There's a new moon call, a full moon call, hot seat coaching call. There's a Facebook group where I'm doing live card readings in the group. But what it looks like to work with me, I really have had so many women walk into my coaching containers and, they feel not in their power and not in their purpose, and they're not making the financial gains that they want. So what it looks like to walk away from my containers is feeling like you have a structure, like you have a plan, like you're back in your body. And, if you're not yet at the financial place you want to be, now you have a plan to get there. But most people quantum leap and collapse time in my containers. I've helped people go from 0 to 50K months in a couple months. I have like blew people's fucking minds with the limitless possibilities. So I think working with me, I can open up your capacity to know that you are capable of limitless abundance and that you can literally have anything you fucking desire.
Oh my goodness. Don't all of us want a little bit of that?
Yeah, I think there's balance too. Like I want to have a beautiful like home life and feel good in my body. So like really the balance of the masculine and the feminine is a great dance for me. I feel like a lot of women reside very heavily in one or the other, usually from wounds or how they grew up, right?
Yeah.
Someone with a father wound, would maybe not want structure and not want, all of these things. So Yeah, there's a lot of work to do, but it doesn't have to take a long time. And so that's where I really blow people's mind. And I remember when I first started healing my trauma, I healed it like pretty quickly once I went all in. And I had this limiting belief that like it took 25 years, 26 years to get here. So like how the fuck can I heal this quickly? You can't. But you just have to be willing to like kind of die and things.
Do the things. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, that's so powerful. It really is. And what, how do I word this? Like, do you, in terms of the types of businesses or that you work with, it can be anything. Like you literally would work with anyone, or is there like a specific area you go to? Anyone? Love it.
I think I'm an expert in the online industry, like I don't even use the word expert, like I'm good at, online. I think that I love working with people in the online industry. However, I work with people all over the globe and all different kinds of businesses because I think that believing in yourself and working on your mindset and all of the work that I do is for anyone and everyone.
Oh, beautiful. And just out of like a little bit about you in general in your life do you have any daily practices, rituals, or routines that you incorporate?
That is literally what we're doing in the Limitless year.
Those are
Like,
favorite
literally,
things.
like rituals, but yes, like so much. Like, I think that having a morning routine and a nightly routine, like I'll just talk about night, like at night, like a bath, if it's not the shower, like I do spell work, I light candles, I get back in my body. Pleasure is a large part of my life, right? Like there are just certain things that I bring into every single day. So like, where can you create routines that are loving to you and to the life you want to build? Because the truth is, some people will be happy with, a 10K month and a little tiny place. And like, that's where they're comfortable. I only want to help lead you with consistency and routines and finances and all the things that feel good for you. And that may look different for everyone. So you have to create routines and daily habits. Maybe that's journaling for you. Maybe you fucking hate writing and that's meditation. So like me, I love breath work. I love meditation. I love journaling. Like I switch up my routines because I get bored easy. So like some mornings I'll do the sound bowl, other mornings I'll do card pulls, other mornings I'll do journaling, other mornings I'll do a long self-pleasure. Some mornings I'll do, like it changes all of the time. But I always like to be intentional. I think that the hardest thing is like you wake up, you're like, you want to touch your phone. And before bed, it's like really intentional for me to work with my guides, to talk to them, to light candles, set my intentions for my next day, my next week, my next month, my year, all the things. So I do in the Limitless year in my containers too, we talk about that. Boundaries, routines, consistency, all of the things. And sometimes it's about letting yourself flow. As women, we are meant to flow as well.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's something that has changed my life in the past year of like really getting serious about routines and like holding myself to them. And that's why we always ask all our guests that, because I know that it's something that has totally changed Brenda and I's lives. And so we love to hear about everybody else's. And another question that we ask all of our guests is, has there been any resource in your life that has helped guide you through your 20s thus far, other than your guides and all those things, maybe like a book or a podcast or a person or a program that has been really influential for you?
Long details. Gary V, I fucking love him. One of my mentors, her name is Amanda. Amanda and Ashley, two of my mentors, have been really monumental in helping me dive deeper into my spiritual gifts and believe in myself. So support is everything for me. My grandma, she's the light of my life. So I think that like the people are the most for me, because I love books and resources and all the things, but allowing yourself to be in the energetic field of someone who unconditionally loves you is so powerful. And someone who just wants to see you win, those are the people.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That's really good. Really good.
How old are you both? Just so I know. I don't know your age.
25.
Yeah, both of us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Mid-20s. It's a whirlwind. And our last question is, where can people find you if they want to work with you, if they want to see what you have to offer, all that good stuff?
I'm all over the place. I have 2 Instagrams, funny enough. One is Andrea Franco XO. So ANDREA FRANCOXO. That's my coaching page. My personal page, which really isn't my personal page anymore. I haven't decided to let either of them go yet. Okay. Is the Intuitive Boss Babe. So it's the Intuitive Boss Babe. Those are my 2 Instagrams. My community is Intuitive Boss Babe Community. There's no the in it. It's just Intuitive Boss Babe Community. I would say if you're going to do anything, Intuitive Boss Babe Community is absolutely amazing. It's unfortunately for women only. I don't know if you have man listeners. I'm sure you do. So the Intuitive Boss Babe Community is for women only. But my name is Andrea Franco. You can follow me on Facebook, friend me on Facebook. So Instagram and Facebook are a great way to link in. But if you're a woman looking to, get free card pulls, free trainings, more of my energy, Intuitive Boss Babe Community is where it's at. And if you're listening to this, I don't know when this releases, but in June, we are beginning the limitless year. And I am trying to get as many beautiful souls, I think $250 a month for a whole year, to change your life with me for a year. And you can look back like me and be like, who is she? It would be amazing to have anyone listening, but
we love it. Andrea, this has been unbelievable, extremely eye-opening and so incredible. Thank you so much for joining us and for all of your wisdom and your energy. You've been absolutely incredible. Can't thank you enough.
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.